Gen.G gave themselves that Jhin to help solve some of the range issues. I think both teams fared okay in this, but I think it's still hard to deal with that Talia in the mid lane. That Talia Xin Zhao has so much strength, slam them into the wall under the turret, so team does need to be a little bit concerned about that.
Ruler gonna burn his cleanse already. Tons of damage going into him, and even the flash forward! Oh, gets it done, and Viper and Delight just outplay Ruler.
The second he goes for the flourish, Delight is on him immediately. I'm trying to push in, but Peanut is there. Peanut, again, I talk about those pressure points he's always looking for. Now Ruler flashless, he is in big trouble.
Yeah, Ruler's just dead. There's no way to get out of this one, and they're just trying to keep Duro around as well. They're gonna give this kill over to Viper, and now Duro is going to flash away, so they get another kill on a Ruler, and the flash from Duro. This bottom lane is a disaster for Gen.G.
Well, there was when we last looked at it. It was like a few camps ahead. Not anymore, apparently.
Well, it's not Old Rel, so not going to be able to take the Dragon away, but they are keeping Canyon around, and they do get his flash, but not the biggest deal in the world.
Over from Zeus, by the way, here, as they look to collapse potentially.
Yeah, they're kind of up against the wall. That Hex Flash, very confusing. Chovy in a lot of trouble. He will flash out, though, and now it's just Duro who looks to be going down. The question is who gets the kill. It will be Zeka. So now your bottom lane is in shambles.
Here for Hanwha Life, because they're the ones who have the Azir in their composition. The Nashor's Tooth can allow Zeka to hit turrets real quick and take them out. He's left alone with one. Can be a big problem for Gen.G to deal with.
Hanwha Life, bottom lane, just hiding on bush in the top side. And Zeus smartly here. Well, he sees Canyon anyway, but you got to play passively when you're playing for the grubs on the top side, so Zeus doesn't get caught out or anything. He's got Swifties as well, so relatively safe on the Rumble. I say that, and yeah, backing in the bush. He will have to flash away. A lot of needles go in, but I think this is an overcommit here from Gen.G.
For a long wraparound here, but it's seen so much.
Yeah, we got needles into Zeus, who's just going to try to shield and run away, and he takes about 20% of his health.
Yeah,
and that's about it.
I feel like maybe that was just to secure some pressure so he could back up Canyon.
Mountain Soul. And in the last couple of best of fives that we had in big series in the summer final last year and in LCK Cup, Hanwha Life Esports won those best of fives, and they won game one, importantly. So with this massive lead, you could see that maybe happening again if they do eventually win this game.
Right now.
Speak of the devil. We have Duro on the gank here, and they know that he's in the bush. Zeus about to figure this out, and he just flashes over the wall. But that is a Nautilus with his own flash. Does not have depth charge, though. Gonna ult the wave, and it's just a 1v2 here. Do they have enough damage? Yes, they absolutely do. So Keen looking to extend his lead with some help from Duro.
With the fact that they have things like the Gwen, like the Talia, the main way where I can see them really getting back in this game is if when they're approaching team fights, they can find a big flank angle. You want your Gwen to be strong to do that. They did get that kill onto the Gwen. They did get that tower taken down as well. The more gold that is funneled onto Keen, the easier that's going to be.
In the lead, they have those first item spikes, whereas we do have some for the side of Gen.G, but Ruler's basically not a champion right now. Are they still going to fight for this?
No.
Well, the answer is absolutely not, because, well, they just lost 2 people to the Poppy ult, and yeah, that's why we love to see Poppy in these games.
They feel confident to push in.
Yeah, Gen.G going to be looking for it, but again,
TP.
Let's see how this one is going to go, as that is a big flick on Azeka, who also just throws his ult out somewhat reflexively, and now HLE, they're going to look for Duro actually on the left side here, might be able to get him. The Rumble ult does come down, and he's just trying to zone, but meanwhile, Delight goes in, and they're doing this all without Zeka, who is now looking to TP, and this fight is going to go to Peanut, who does pick up that first Mountain Drake for the side of HLE. As now Zeka's here and Gen.G are between a rock and a hard place. Zeka is going to get knocked up. They're trying to go in onto this one and get a trade in Canyon with the help of Ruler. And now Gen.G are turning this fight around. They lost the Drake, but at least they got a bunch of kills on the backside.
Expensive turns, but Peanut is going to look for a gank here. Chovy way up in the lane.
Yeah, Chovy thought he was safe. Let's see if he can wall away on time. Looks like the answer's no, as Peanut's on top of him, but Zeus is very far away. Chovy just going to flash out of this one, as now he goes for the wall, but that's a Poppy. You can't get away from the Poppy by using your wall. And Peanut sits him down. Meanwhile, though, Gen.G are going to go for this Otacon. They say, well, you committed heavily to the top side of the map. So who wins this fight?
Look at Viper. Look at Viper. They're getting shredded. If he lands a piercing arrow, it would do so much damage.
Well, let's see what happens on this fight. A lot of damage already coming out here from Zeka, as the smite will be 100% to the side of Gen.G. And now the TP exists, just dies immediately. Delight as well. A big sweep here from Viper. He's alone. The damage doesn't go through, and it's only Viper that can get this one done. And it looks like Duro will have to be sacrificed once again. But already the Otacon was picked up by Gen.G. And they got a couple of kills on the backside of that one, so not half bad.
Lead for Gen.G. Now, advantage Dragon.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what happens on this one. We got the Rumble Ultimate this time, but it's just going to go the way of Gen.G. HLE not in position to fight on that one. They were not set up as you were saying they had to be off.
I think on that Otacon fight, I think if HLE had played it more about the fight, I think they definitely could have taken a lot more members of Gen.G down.
Overextensions happen. You know, Hanwha criticized all year for taking big leads and kind of playing with their food a little bit. This is Gen.G. You can't do that against this team or you will lose your lead. As Peanut's going aggressive, Rel's showing up here too. Keen in some trouble. TP.
Yeah, TP's coming in. I think with the three of them, they should be able to get this one down. The Gwen can shred a bit more through the Poppy compared to other champs, but eventually you're not going to win a 1v3, and that will be Keen going down. Doesn't even use his exhaust. He knew he was dead.
It's just crazy how just Peanut can just run at you.
To come over. And
He'll be on the flank.
Gen.G will be the ones that are in position on an objective.
Wait, they have the
Actually,
wall.
Like this, the wall does come down, and the damage, it's not quite there at the same time, and now Duro's going to get caught in the front. Gen.G kind of scrambling here, taking a bunch of damage. Now Delight going in, looking for the engage, but he gets blown up. But meanwhile, Canyon now, Zeus flashes over the wall. He's going to trade 1-for-1, but Duro is down as he does get taken out here. The chase here onto Keen. Looks like he is just going to TP away.
Scary, Ruler backed, and Keen did as well. They're full HP. Ruler picked up an Infinity Edge, but I think having Jungler means you're going to be able to secure that Dragon.
Yeah, and there's a ward on the Baron pit here for Hanwha, and there's just not that much damage. Like I said, with his Jin comp, like worse for Ruler. So that's, I think, the bigger concern rather than what really happened here.
Well, looking for Peanut, I suppose, and they might just be able to get him. He's caught out as the angle from Toby locks him in, and they get another kill here for the Gwen.
So deadly around this Baron, though, but Viper did miss that first Q.
It's 5v4. Duro does get pretty low. The equalizer only going to hit Jovi, and they're keeping this Baron least. I think Gen.G are in a good spot here. Zeka and Viper trying their best to do the damage, but now even Zeus is taking a ton, as now the engage does come in from Delight, but he goes down immediately, and Canyon's not even looking at the fight. He just wants the objective, as he will get it. And now Ruler alongside of Jovi. So many low health bars, and in goes Canyon. They will look to clean up the fight. Viper is all alone by himself in a 1v3, flashes forward to try to score the win, but he will not be able to, and it's a triple kill to Jovi.
That Baron aggro to take it down.
Did you see Jovi's items? He's got a Magi's in this game and a death cap. Now Keen, what's going on here? He goes in by himself, and Gen.G are like, wait, what was that? And now, this is potentially Mountain Soul for Hanwha Life Esports.
And a lot of this Baron is being wasted by the fact that they're fighting over this Dragon right now, not getting any pressure with it. This is a rough time here for Gen.G.
Gen.G want to go for the fight, actually. They're going to open up as that ult is not going to hit here from Peanut. He's taking a ton of damage. In goes Canyon. Peanut's dead! And that means the smite is easy for Canyon. They get the jungler, and HLE do not commit to the fight, and they get punished for it.
Part of the fight, and we see Ruler just stands on an equalizer ulting. He's like, I'm committing to the bit, kills Peanut.
The scoreboard looks similar, but when you look at the gold, when you look at the map control, it's definitely Gen.G's game to lose.
Oh boy, Delight just gonna get caught out here, and this has been happening all game. Not to Delight specifically, but to many different players just getting picked off.
Cut off here, no vision on him right now. As the wave comes in, they will see him.
Trying to go for something, but look at the damage that they do to Peanut, and he snipes him from miles away. And Peanut can't even get out of there with his life intact. We talked about the Poppy and the Mountain Soul and everything, but he just looks like a, I don't know, just a wet piece of paper at this moment in time. He's getting shredded so easily. They come down. They just want to secure this inhibitor. They're going to get the turret. Yep, siege wall. Do they commit to the inhibitor? Looks like no. But they're just chopping away chunks of Hanwha Life Esports' base, and with a little deadly flourish. But yeah, you don't get the kill, but you get Zeus out of the fight. And that's going to mean more pressure here from Gen.G right before this Baron spawns.
Baron,
the inner turret.
Baron is spawning, but so is the Dragon here. Basic
They have so much damage. It's incredible the amount of damage they have on this Baron. It's going to force them over. Duro trying to hook his way away from this one. The wall comes down. The Poppy ult not going to hit. It's now Delight trying to force the fight here. Duro is pretty low. And actually a decent angle here. Canyon getting pretty low himself. Keen is by himself as well. HLE might have found the one angle to win the fight, but Toby's still alive. Ruler sniping from very far away. Looks pretty good still. still for HLE, even though Chovy is chomping them down with huge amounts of damage with this gigantic build.
Focus down here. The ult doesn't connect, but Ruler has to back away so far. Ruler and Chovy get zoned so heavily by Delight and Zeus here. And Ruler does ult here, but he's not really able to do too much to...
You have a ridiculous amount of Baron damage here for HLE with almost full build Azir and Rumble. And even the Varus, even though he is lethality, can do a decent amount. Now Keen just gonna start attacking Delight, who's taken so much, and he's gone! He's just out of the fight, just like that, as Chovy getting pretty low. Zeus gonna flash on in, but Chovy's got his Zhonya's, and he will be able to survive there. Takes a bit of damage, but right now we've got Delight, who is down. Chovy gets the pick again! You will not stop this man! And that is going to be 25 stacks for the Taliyah.
But Viper's still full health, and all these low health bars for Gen.G means I don't think they could try to push for anything further.
And Peanut can look for the steal.
Peanut has flash.
This could be big.
It's 5v3, and it's really just going to come down to Peanut and see if he can get in there. The damage is being done by Keen, though. He's running Viper down, and that's going to zone Peanut away as well, who is being shredded and has to flash the wall. That's going to be Baron over to Gen.G. Very nicely handled. And getting to work on the turret. And now we got a bit of damage into Duro. He is going to hook away. And at least Hanwha Life, they're keeping them out of this one for now, but the wall is going to come down, and the Poppy ult knocks away the Xin Zhao. But Peanut, he puts himself in such a bad spot, and Keen will live for now, but he gets poked down by the Rumble and the Azir, so he's out of the fight himself. Duro pretty low at the same time.
Clearing this wave here, as Gen.G did not get that inhibitor.
All right, Chovy, he is just, look at the damage on this Taliyah, it's insanity. And now Canyon is frontlining for the team. You got a zoning Jhin ult at the same time. Nobody's able to follow up on this one. Zeus getting incredibly low, and he will be taken out. Nothing that Viper can do. And that will be this mid inhibitor going down at least.
The big thing is, though, look at the death timer on Zeus. Elder spawning in 30. I'm not sure they can end right now. Canyon?
He just walks in.
This could change things.
Straight up dies, and now they got to go for the fight here. Duro, look at a sacrifice for the team, but Canyon goes down. And that might just be a bit too much for Chovy and Ruler. They are incredibly fed in this game.
I mean,
TP in a mid.
They're going to actually look to try to collapse on this.
Oh, that's crazy.
They say, okay, you want to take the Elder? Take the Elder. I don't care about the Elder.
I mean, Hanwha may have to just back here. They have enough wave because there's no big wave in the main base.
Well, they only got 2 inhibitors. I don't know.
Wait, I think this is fine. So they back away. The Elder's gone. But with 2 super minions, mid and top, they're not really going to be able to...
Nobody's coming in here.
I don't know about this.
So you have to back away.
Yeah, he's just going to get ulted away. Peanut's going to throw him the door.
But essentially, the Elder's secured. But what is HLE going to be able to do with Elder when you have super minions pushing mid-top? More difficult, though.
Chovy doesn't have ult. I thought he was going to look for a wall there.
Yeah, mid-hit too. That'll go pretty quickly.
Zeka's going in there. He's going to do a taunt to Chovy, who has to flash. Equalizer! They got in! Chovy is down. And they've got a cannon minion here too, HLE. How far do you want to push it? They're looking for the inhibitor.
Well, I guess they can't neutralize that.
No, I don't think so. Bit of a greedy play from Chovy. He is punished.
All right, Chain's gonna go down. Look at the damage from the Azir and the Varus.
Now there's no wave here just yet, but another one's coming. And I don't know, with 45 seconds until Chovy respawns, I think Hanwha should be able to end here.
They don't have that same wave clear. They gotta stack up.
They gotta block it.
They gotta stack up and keep the minions alive, and HLE are gonna do exactly that. We got the Peanut ult, not gonna hit anything. Keen, desperate to try to stop the minions from hitting the base. He will go down, but HLE, they wanna end the game right here. And right now, they get a kill onto Canyon. They get a kill onto the turrets, and HLE are gonna make it happen in game 1.
Really awkward, I feel like, for Hanwha Life Esports, because in terms of engage, they have Jarvan, they have Camille, kind of, right? But it's a very mobile composition. You can realm warp to outpace it, and the Scion is so tanky that it's hard to access the targets you want.
Thank you for that insight, Ox.
Yep.
That's why we have you here on the desk.
That's why I'm here.
Any thoughts, Wolf?
I mean, I'm going to hold my thought on Preds because we have a kind of a cool setup here for Hanwha Life. We're looking to collapse, actually.
Yep. Talk about getting early leads. I mean, Chovy's in a really rough spot. Nowhere for him to go. He just stands still and accepts it. Gives the first blood. And now Ruler's going to be handshook. He has to flash end barrier.
Still not gold just yet, but still feeling pretty good here for Keen. As Hanwha Life look to secure this first dragon.
Yep, still no flash on Ruler. Looks like they do want to try to fight this, funnily enough. They're going to get a TP here out of the Ahri. There's the handshake, though, on a Duro, who is desperately trying to run away. Peanut, not level 6. And they're just going to let him get out of there. Duro.
Yeah, combination. Because of the bailout, you can really heavily commit. So that's going to be a backstop. I don't know if it'll necessarily matter as Peanut's not even nearby. But the thing is, it's an Ezreal that got his flashback as well as has Arcane Shift, and he did clear the wave, as you mentioned, which is really critical there with the True Shot Barrage. And so they just end up getting grubs for free here, and Peanut can make no cross map.
Zeka has Malignant, which is such a huge spike, so it could be a bit precarious if they do opt to contest this.
Zeka, oh, the flash forward, the engaged Renata might just get the job done. The aggression out of the side of HLE is perfect. As now Chovy on the edge of this realm warp, he does get away. And they still have the dragon leashed. This is going to be another dragon and a kill that goes over to HLE. And they're playing this comp very well so far.
Infernal Soul too, super valuable for the longevity of Hanwha Life's comp. If they can pick it up, it is going to be huge for them.
So, you know, maybe they forego the Herald, but just try and really aggressively play for Dragon Control. If you look at the vision they have around the Dragon Pit, they're kind of telegraphing their intent here.
Yeah. The timing of this also allows for a little bit of push on the turret for Zeus as he goes down there, gets the wave prio. They have vision. Look at that full line of 3 wards from mid to Dragon, as well as the Tri-Brush control ward. There's now a replaced ward here for Delight over the wall behind the pit. So entry to this with Delight having ult as well, and his flashback up is going to be quite challenging here for Gen.G. And like you said, it's sole point for Infernal here.
Yeah, they definitely are. I mean, they're getting flanked right now, and the pillar's down. Here comes the TP. A lot of item spikes hit for the side of Viper, or rather HLE as well. And now Keen has to flash out already as the sticks were in him from the Callista. Now trying to deal with Zeus, but that is a Camille who should be able to get away. Canyon needs to hit the smite or he's in a lot of trouble. Peanut going in, going out, and it's just going to be a straight up flip. It goes to the rise on the side of Gen.G, but now the fight is looking fantastic here for HLE. Zeus goes in, and he gets out just barely. They're trying to turn here on the Ruler, who's all by himself. Duro super low on the left side, and will be taken out, and the extensiveness of this Callista to play in these long fights will be huge. At least Chovy got the 1 kill, and Gen.G did get the kill on the Dragon.
Give this up, and it might not be all he gives.
It's pretty curious that the Otacon, you know, it spawns on the top side of the map. We might get some big plays here. Zay's going to take a big chunk here from Chovy, but yeah, they're just going to start it up, and there's no Dragon to really trade for. That's really what's going to happen on this map is they have the damage with Ezreal Rise. They've hit their spikes, both the Ezreal and the Rise, so they have the damage to chunk down this one. Even the Rift Herald going to go top, so HLE, big onus on them to answer the call. Peanut goes in, and look at this! The Karma's already dead! As they commit to it, the resistances are up. Look at Zeka! He's dead at the same time, and it's just gonna be a flip here for the objective. Down goes Canyon, and it's a flip no more. Zeus 1v1ing Chovy, as he will have to realm warp out, but it goes over to the Jarvan, and HLE are taking everything! It's a triple kill on the backside of this fight. They're better grouped, but again, Zeus has got an angle. I mean, there's a lot of angles that HLE are coming in from. And Peanut's on the Dragon. They're looking for Chovy in the front line. He's pretty tanky, but at the same time, oh, that's going to be Peanut getting pretty low, but they already do take out Chovy, and Peanut will take that trade every day of the week. And now this Callista is just chomping through them once again. Double kill comes in, and the chase potential here from HLE is huge. Zeus once more. He's going to hold on top of Ruler, who does a bunch of damage and immediately dies. It is a second triple kill for Viper in this fight. In this game, Duro barely gets away, but HLE are taking everything on this map.
Viper's just dominating on this Callista, you know, they took the Trundle, they were like, we're confident, if you pick Callista, the pillar will shut you down, it is done.
Tell from my attitude after the draft and what I thought I saw in the Hanwha Life players' eyes, their faces, I really thought this one was going to struggle if they didn't get a massive lead early.
Where is the guy in these big series that can really put the hurt into, especially when you disrespect them in the draft, as you were talking about, Ox. And Wolf, as now Viper is going to get straight up ulted by a Scion. Not the best positioning, but nobody else is really able to join the fight here. They're trying to turn on to Zeka, but he is Ahri, and they don't really have the extension to do so. Zeka does get away, but Zeus, okay, Zeka will actually go down. Now Zeus gets charmed here, and all of a sudden, Hanwha Life, they're just going to get caught out in the mid lane. Now there's no... Well, actually, there's a Baron coming up in 15 seconds. Pillar not treating Peanut very well here at the same time. Will Gen.G consider a 25-minute Baron to try to come back in this game? I do wonder. Yeah. You have so much Baron damage, too.
I mean, there's no ults here for Hanwha Life. Like, how do they win a fight? They have to look for a steal, and that's all they've got. Peanut's on vision. Yeah. I think this is a secure, pretty easy.
They're going to deal with Peanut. Yeah, he's just going to be zoned away. Nicely done by Gen.G here, looking for an angle back in this game.
You know, we saw Keen go in solo, and he's not able to kill Viper. He bought a lot of time.
Doing it again as Keen, I think you overstepped quite a bit on this one. They are going to get the turret, but now we got a charm here on a ruler who has to get Mikhail's. And yeah, he's going to get away for now, but now Zeus is going in, and the chase potential of this comp here from HLE is huge. The charm goes in, catches Toby, and that might not be enough for him to get away. Canyon being handshook once again, and this Trundle is doing nothing in this game. It's 3 more kills to the side of HLE, and Viper still has not died.
I mean, that's basically your Baron all washed away. Gen.G get punished here in the mid lane. Infernal Soul, and they have so much control. Keen TP's in.
Chovy in a lot of trouble here. 4 seconds until the Hextech ultimatum, and Peanut's going to keep him around in time. And now Chovy, he's got a shield, and a Zhonya's might be enough. But here comes the Ahri, and Chovy's going to go down, and that is a massive pick before it even begins. It's Canyon! He's running straight at the Kalista. Viper is a menace right now on this pick as Zeka goes in, hits another charm, and there's nothing that Gen.G can do. Tons of damage does go into the Scion. It looks like he might barely get away, as now Ruler trying to bring this one back, but the light is over the wall. He is going to miss the handshake, but they just have way too many tools, as we have said so many times in HLE. They take the fight, and they will be getting this Infernal Soul.
I think trying to greed for Keen here is not the right call from Zeus. He will back away as this turret gets pressured. But that's all Gen.G get is a consolation inner. I mean, that's some gold, that's some relevance, but you're now fighting into Infernal Soul for the rest of the game. The dive and the front to back. You know, Gen.G kind of have this front to back where they have this insanely scaling mid laner, does a ton of damage. And it can basically get AP carry, a safe carry here for Ruler with this setup. And I mean, now we're just turning our eyes towards Baron here. As you can see, Gen.G nothing. They can't see anything. So they have to be incredibly cautious. And I think when we toggle the vision, it's
gone. The objective is gone. We talked about the Baron damage. It's gone. Canyon, either he flashes in and dies. He is going to get, he can't get it. There's just no way. And they don't even bother turning onto him because they know they can do it later. As, okay, big slam. That is going to force the follow-up there with the Fates call, but now they get into the backline of Ruler, nowhere for him to go! And HLE take their wallets and they bash them over the heads with it, as down goes Keen as well. And Viper is legendary in this game. Nobody can handle him with this many tools on the roster, and also Zeka did 6k damage in that.
This is something else. When we saw these teams match up last few times in best of fives, yes, Hanwha was the victor, but it was a lot closer. The first time they won in LCK Summer, it was a big upset. We were like, okay, Hanwha, a new challenger, a new champion, but this time they just look like they are way more prepared than Gen.G.
They're making Gen.G look like they are not the ones that were undefeated. HLE look like they are not to be stopped today.
One of the things with the Nico is you can send your clone out. If you're playing into like a Nautilus or something, you send the clone out, it body blocks the dredge line. That doesn't work on Leona. No. So it's actually, as far as matchups go, it's a scarier wrong.
So its face if it gets a chance at all. If Gen.G do take this win. A lot of trading here on the top side.
I think it has to be said, okay, hold up, bottom dive potential here. Deal early.
They've got a pretty good angle. Where are they going to go? Looks like they do want to go straight into Ruler, and he just gets blown up immediately. That's first blood given over to Peanut Sejuani, and just like that, it's that simple. Even with the cleanse, Ruler doesn't even bother flashing, doesn't get a chance.
Doesn't have that same strong identity as I feel their last comp did with a really strong front line.
Canyon's here. They are going to drop the ult here onto Zeka. He's got his flash. He's going to try to flash over it, but Canyon's still on top of the Silas. And another rock comes through, and Chovy easily cleans that one up. So Zeka really having a rough time here in mid.
Despite the level 1 is both Keen and Chovy were generating advantages. It was team fights and group ups later on where the disaster started. But once again, good job by the laners.
Yeah, do you see HLE leveraging some of that bot pressure though to get an early dragon? And it is an Ocean as well, which honestly, Ocean Dragon, I feel like early dragons, you never really talk that much about the stat impact, but the sustain from an Ocean can actually go a long way, especially when your solo laners are struggling with some of the harass coming out.
But here, there's no objective for it. And Chovy's just chilling, looking for the ult again.
Canyon's here. Zeka, no flash, no ult stolen, and he's just a sitting duck. Nowhere for him to run, nowhere for him to hide, and Canyon picks up another one. Zeka is not a champion at this moment in time.
Get in position and see if they can find an angle.
Yeah, not sure about this one. Again, Zeka, I don't think he even finished the Rod, which will be his first item. So they're going to throw an ult in onto Duro, but he is totally fine. And now we got a slap Pale from the side of Canyon as the stolen Eco ultimate doesn't do anything. Everybody on the side of HLE is just melting as they take a questionable fight, and Canyon knocks it down. As we wanted to see more from the man, he's showing it to us right here in Game 3.
I said I don't know if we can count Hanwha Life Esports out, but I think after that one, we definitely will. I think in this one.
Free Rift Herald on top of it?
Yeah, just a free Herald, as you say. And
all right, Duro gonna meet his opposing support. Delight continuing on this one. Zeus is nearby, level 11. They will be able to keep Duro down. As Duro thought, you know, well, we got total control up on the top side, but he's gonna pay for it with his life. And Canyon gets in, gets the Rift Herald, and gets out. So, not the end of the world here for Gen.G. They will get the objective.
yeah, Hanwha need to get more.
Oh, just a nice bait from Peanut, I suppose. Or did he overstep? Is the question. Delight and Zeka here. They're going to go for the re-engage. We got Corki. Viper is on the way. They're going to pull back Canyon, who is in a lot of trouble here and will be given a shutdown. Viper, he gets ulted by the Cassante, but he's totally fine for a while until Ruler makes his way to the back line. But it's a very squishy Kaisa who goes straight into 2 melee members, and he gets punished immediately. Chovy, now he's got double buff, and he will be looking to follow up on this one. There is so much money.
He doesn't have ult yet.
There's so much money in this Aurora. Now, who is going to collect the pinata is the only question. They're going on in. They're committing hard onto this kill for Chovy. It's taking quite a while, though, and they give the kill 1,000 gold over to Zeus, but the ensuing fight is not looking too good for the side of Hanwha. Zeka trying to get away, and a missed Nico ult. Looks like Zeka will just sacrifice. Nearly even takes out Ruler. And look at this in mid. Viper's getting a free turret, and Hanwha Life are kind of getting big wins here on the map, and Gen.G are being run around even with their gigantic lead.
It's bit by bit, it's chisel by chisel, but Hanwha Life are certainly finding some angles in this game.
They're looking for more. Keen up here on the top side is a bit of a broken up play, as now Peanut is going to be isolated, and Zeus can't do much to help him, as now he's going to be bopped back and tries to hop away. Even Delight is desperately trying to save him, but he won't be able to. It's a double kill for Keen Sante, and Hanwha Life just threw it immediately back into Gen.G's favor on a close fight in top lane.
You have Viper pushing mid. If you just break and disengage here, that's a good play.
Yeah, I mean, now you're, like, we had the slippery Aurora that they engaged on before that bought enough time for some of those members to come up, but then here, engaging onto the Cassante.
But now Gen.G, 6,000 gold lead at this point. And, you know, we talked about Chovy being super fed. Ruler got a lot of gold on the back of that on this Kaisa, extremely strong.
Yeah, it does feel like at this point for Hanwha Life, it's kind of like we got to go late and get this Jax huge. Like, Zeus got a ton of money from the Aurora, but...
And it's 4 melee on HLE, so they're just going to proc so much healing off those. And they're feeling so confident now. They're starting off the Arakan.
Yeah, Peanut being zoned quite a bit. He is able to get into the pit, though. Going to be a bit of a flip here as it does go to Peanut. He gets it, and a 3-man ult comes in from Zeka. They don't have the damage follow-up, though. And Keen is the target here for Hanwha Life. It's not a good one. As Ingo's Chovy now taking a bunch from the front line as he will go down. But now look at Ruler. He's totally unleashed. Nobody can take him down. As Zeus Viper trying to go in, and they trade, actually. Will be enough, potentially, as Zeus gets a big cut. Picks up a kill, but he will be taken down at the very end. Hanwha, they keep making these fights so close, and they even got the Arakan.
Got an ult after the Aurora ult.
Yeah. Zeus here, a bit alone, but he is Jax, so he hops away. Still, a nice win for Gen.G. There's no catch on the top side of Chovy, and they just get a free inner on the bottom side.
Yeah.
It should be unlosable.
Yes.
I think we're all just looking at it going, all right, what if? But
yeah, I think that's the perspective. This game should have been over and done for a long time for Gen.G, and I think that's why we feel so hesitant about it, because HLE are making it feel uncomfortable from the perspective of Gen.G, especially considering that, like, Gen.G need to win 3 in a row.
Yep, and he's got flash and ult for the next team fight. In terms of setting up the engage, he and Canyon already had one crazy wombo combo earlier. All right, Keen.
All right, nice. Big engage, though, on top of Viper. He's isolated in the backside, and Ruler just assassinates him. Very nice engage here from the side of Duro. That's more of what we expected from this guy, what we saw in the regular season, and now Delight has to flash away. HLE They had an angle back in.
Overforced, but the fact that they had Chovy crashing that wave into inner, that all that power, the collapse power, meant that it wasn't greedy at all, it wasn't risky even a little bit, and it just guarantees a pick. Hanwha have to respond.
Canyon almost 2 levels ahead of Peanut. Remember, Peanut got that dive in the bottom lane, and since then hasn't really been able to do too much. They're trying to turn on the Canyon, though, as the stolen Impale comes through, and the real Impale does a lot more. Catches 3 in the front with a Nico at the same time, and I think the Wallet's just going to get the job done. Chovy comes on over, and Zeus, he's very fed relatively to his team, but it's not going to be enough. Peanut getting low as well, will be finished off. It's a clean ace for Gen.G as finally they show some signs of life in this series.
And I think relief for Gen.G fans everywhere, as this is the dominant showing we saw from this team all year long in terms of LCK, in terms of regular season matchups where they are undefeated, and peak Gen.G form does show up here in Game 3. They will not go down without a fight. It is not going to be a 3-0.
Center in the TF, you have to set up to follow up. But you are dealing into, you have the split push threat off the Yorick later. You have this 4-man team fight composition, which is pretty strong.
Especially utilize that center range, for example, is so valuable. As it looks like Gen.G are just going to get this one here initially. Peanut has no backup.
Yeah, he's playing with fire here a little bit. He's got to be careful. And he will, in fact, be careful. I don't think giving free kills over to Gen.G, who want to get the ball rolling, is a good idea.
Yeah,
I mean, Chovy had ult, too.
Yeah, he started walking down with ult and with Spellbook Ignite, so that was not a game you wanted to play.
After you see he's not even trying to harass Zek anymore, he's just, like, clearing waves over and over.
Oh, Duro!
Duro is like, sit down, buddy! What are you doing this far up the lane? As Zeka says, well, there's nothing I can do. First blood is given over to Chovy.
It was super slick. And now?
Well, that's the slow. Zeus in a bit of trouble here. He is going to dodge the Q, but there are 3 people in the top lane, and already Zeus is going to be punished here. And they're just going to give the kill and the stack over to
So that from Canyon, he safeguarded away before the execute damage came through. He's like, no, I'll let you have the gobble.
Very good idea. Gen.G have a lot of momentum here in this early game. Canyon taking a bit of damage, but that Yone, not sure he can stick around for very long.
He needs his ultimate. It's just a few seconds away. Then he could make a big impact, but the timing here is so good for Gen.G.
TP gonna come through. They want to make an engage here on Duro. He doesn't have his flash because he used it for the engage in the mid lane. And so they're just going to try to give this kill over to Zeka. Nicely handed over.
So difficult to collapse in here. Ruler's at half health from the last exchange. He is Senna, though, so is able to heal up quite significantly.
No TP,
yeah, it's going to be a straight-up 4v4, unless the Yorick can get here, and the Maokai just going to zone with the ult as in goes, oh, he stole it! He got in! He moves past the Maokai and says, thank you very much. That'll be the second dragon over to Gen.G. Now we got the ult, not going to hit anyone, and they just kick him away. Gen.G say, we don't want to fight. We just want the Drake and we want to get out.
I mean, it was
so came down.
It's so clean. Canyon gets the steal. The ult comes out from Duro. He's so tanky, so he could just peel there and make sure the rest of the team is totally fine as you have a Senna.
When it comes to best of 5s and big matches, but Gen.G are still the favorites.
I mean, look at this too. Chovy's just going to get this whole turret while they made a sort of attempt to gank Keen there, who got a demolish proc, gets away late.
Now let's see what he can do. We got the TP coming in. Chovy's coming in from the top side. Bit of damage already going in. There's a TP right in front of Gen.G's face, and that's just going to be Zeus flashing away. As we got the Maokai ultimate trying to lock some people down and get this Jinx excited, but Gen.G, they just form a wall. They say no thank you, but Peanut goes back in, and a ton of damage is done to the Maokai, but the Lulu barely keeps him alive, and that's a kill for the Yone. Finds another pick on the Chovy here, who's just on the run, and there's the engage with Peanut going back in with the Rift Herald, picks up another one, and Chovy not able to do much here on the right side of the fight. Looking good for the side of Hanwha Life. In this fight, they pick up a couple.
This is the insane punishing power of this draft and of the playstyle of Hanwha Life, as we will have a pause.
Teams deny you.
Looks like they want to fight here for this dragon. Gen.G looking at Mountain So Point. Looks like Hanwha Life really trying to close the gap and get in here, but it's just Zeka and the jungler still not anywhere close, as Canyon just going to be able to easily smite this one, you would imagine. There's the damage. Gets the soul point. And Hanwha Life, I mean, especially without a Maokai, you can't really force anything unless Zeka's going to find, like...
Yeah, we were missing some context there as to how that all started off and why Gen.G had so much control and got it for free, but I think it was just off of the reset after the last play in mid lane there, and yeah, that's massive, because that's the whole point. Yep, you can see there's a few dents put in after that previous play. Zeus is going to be able to take out this turret.
Those are definitely pandas, by the way.
Yeah, but they have cat-like
cats.
features.
Yeah, they're not cats at all, I don't think.
Something to be said that even though Gen.G have a lead, oh, they are looking for Zeus.
Yeah, he's very isolated down here. No TP from Zeka to try to save him, so it's just a straight up 2v1, and Zeus doesn't really deal damage yet. So it's going to be a free kill given over to Canyon. Second kill for his Lee Sin.
And there's just no cross map here. I mean, there's no angle for Hanwha Life to say, okay, Chovy ulted down here, the jungler's bottom. Be able to sustain so much in this longer fight.
Yeah, they have so much control with their range. And now finally TP is going to come through for Zeka after he picks up his shield bow. And it's just going to be potentially a flip, but you've got a Cho'Gath that you're smiting against, and all these resistances are going down. Chovy going to take a big chunk here on the left side, has to cleanse out of that one, but Zeka also being chunked out as in goes Canyon, gets Lulu ulted in the sky, but look at Peanut, he can't get in there, he's going to try, but he is not going to succeed, and now he does get punished as the rest of Hanwha Life just has to run away, tail between their legs, as down goes the Peanut's Maokai, and it was just such a weird fight to go for that auto.
And look at the death timer, Peanut is up. I think Gen.G are in a great spot now.
Yeah, they're going to look for even more.
Viper getting chunked here. He's going to get zoned away from the turret as well. He gets taken out as, yes, Keen will go down as well, but the job is already done. Duro and Canyon behind them, and Zeka and Delight have nowhere to go. Just being chunked out by Ruler and by Canyon. Gen.G running the rift right now.
I mean, did die to the tower, I think.
Duro is also going to be potentially an extra donation, potentially. Yes.
You know, this is one of those weird situations where that looked really positive on the back end for Gen.G.
You don't want to give this one over for free. The Maiden taking a little bit of chip damage, and Gen.G, they have Banana Brush control. You can see Hanwha Life trying desperately to push into this brush. They actually will be able to do so, and they have the Maokai to attempt to zone them away.
They got to get a kill for that Jinx.
Yeah, they're not really doing anything. They're just kind of sitting around. The Maiden's dead. No engage comes through, no Maokai ultimate available. Bit of damage comes out from the Jinx and a nice ult here, but it's only hitting tanks on the side of Zeka. Duro is going to get quite low, but so is Zeka. Zeka's just out of this one. We do get a kill on a Duro though. And now Viper has the damage. And Chovy just very zoned away, so I think Gen.G might just have to give this one up. And that they will.
It was a really close fight. The amount of protection Chovy gave to Duro to try to keep him alive there to prevent the reset was pretty insane. But it's definitely a big trade up here for Hanwha Life. They win the fight, they get the dragon. Canyon also likely caught.
Yes, flash and kick, but I don't know if he's actually going to get out here. Tries to taxi on a Peanut, but with a Lulu around, it's just elementary as they give a ton of gold, actually 1,000 gold over to Zeus.
Out of mana and zoned away, and now Hanwha with this advantage, no jungler, gonna try to rush down Baron.
Yeah, I'm not sure about this, but they do have a lot of damage on this Baron already. Jovi's got a nice angle on the left side. They just want to turn off of this, actually. Keen, very tanky, but not tanky enough. Duro not able to peel for him, and now Viper gets excited, and they just taxi them away from the objective. As it does look like maybe Ruler gets out, and so will Duro, but yeah, I think for Gen.G that's fine. You know, you stop the Baron, kind of throw an ult at them, and they don't find an angle because Gen.G are playing so respectful.
That was their last chance. Chovy with the gold card here.
Ult comes in, flash through on Duro, and that's going to be the end of this Yone as he's going to unbound, but yeah, he's just gone.
And now Dragon in 20 seconds. That's sold for them if they want to pick it up.
Bryn and Barrett as Gen.G will get Mountain Soul, making those resets for the Jinx even tougher.
Is up.
Or just start the Baron and see how it goes.
Quite desperate.
Yeah, they get a big flank coming in from Chovy. He's going to be here on the left side and take a look. And in the massive kick behind everyone. And the Cho'Gath knocks up everyone as well on the backside. As Ruler's already dead. And they don't have the damage if they don't have Ruler. As that is going to be the end. Or not Ruler, Viper. He's going to go down. And Ruler stays alive with the Zai doing tons of damage.
You can at least get an inhibitor here, but I mean, with 25 seconds on Jinx, 30 seconds on Yone, if they get anybody else, I think this game is just going to end. I mean, for all intents and purposes, it may already have. 20 seconds left on Zeka. 12, they have a wave.
Yep, they have a Cho'Gath who is full health with the Senna behind him. And Duro just gonna knock away Zeus. You don't have any chance of killing the minions when you're that far away. As this should be going to Silver Screeps, ladies and gentlemen, as Zeus trying his best, and they're just gonna flash over and kill the Nexus. That gets it done. Gen.G looking for the reverse sweep if they can do it in game 5.
Like, I don't want to derail your point, Ox, because
go ahead,
it was
go
a
ahead.
good one, but I feel like these two picks couldn't have been more opposite in what they do for this draft. The Aurelion Soul, a lot of zoning, a lot of big ultimate power around objectives. Here for Hanwha Life, I mean, I think this might just be a shoe-in. Canyon does not have level 6.
Taking him on a
danger.
poke, and now Chovy the same. He's gonna get the sleep off, but he's not in a great spot here. Knows that Zeka's cooldowns are down for now, trying to bait him in. Flashes at the very last moment, but you're not really giving your team any favors here as Canyon trying to fake go in with the clone. Might just be able to steal this one away, and yes, he will, as he even flashes out of here. So Gen.G living for now as the bowling ball going to land asleep here on the top side against Zeka, as they're barely going to try to survive, but it doesn't look like Canyon is getting out of this one alive. Should be first blood over to Hanwha Life Esports after Canyon steals the dragon, and they will give that kill over to Viper.
When Canyon went in that pit, he knew he wasn't getting out. He knew that he was sacrificing himself. He put his hand up
At this point in time, so getting chunked out by the Zoe before the fight even begins is something that the Zoe is really going to offer into the Jace, into the Xayah as well.
I think they're just going to, with Viper being under turret and the fact that Zeus has demolished proc and he's going to get multiple plates here, they're simply going to give this one up. Although,
maybe trying to get the one, but I think it's kind of a...
Canyon didn't smite.
Yeah, and Peanut's smite isn't upgraded yet, and Canyon's is, so there's zero chance.
I just don't think there's any reason to go in there. Well, I appreciate the hustle, but just take your win.
Good
elsewhere.
effort, yeah. All right, well...
Peanut's looking for something topside.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Might be able to get the sleep in on a ruler, but the wave is already being cleared. Do they care about it as the Braum trying to zone them away, and that's going to be a kill into the Rakan already. Another flash comes out from Peanut, but at least Viper gets the kill, but not a very pretty dive at that. Zeka down a level here, just bullying Chovy in the mid lane. As now we've got Canyon, total darkness here on the right side. Zeka.
That's when you should start worrying if you are a Gen.G fan. They have Pryo on the streak right now. Chovy coming over.
Yeah, TP. Keen could be in a precarious spot.
Gonna throw in the sleep actually, and that time Duro is able to keep Ruler safe, but not for long as the Tarn comes in. But now the counter engage of Viper just dies. He was 1 second away from his ult, didn't have it in the fight, and now the damage is coming through here for Gen.G as Chovy nearly gonna miss Zeus there, but he's still on the chase, and this is what the Zoe does.
A bit faster pace like this, and sums and ults are being burnt a lot. It makes it so much harder for like a Xayah to function when they're always just on cooldown.
I like this from Keen, trying to bait him into the fight, trying to give him a false sense of security here on the Mega Gnar, trying to avoid the Gnar into the wall. Is Canyon doing a ton of damage here already as now the Gnar comes out, but might be too little too late as well. Canyon's going to get the kill, but it is traded back. This does give Keen the free wave in top, but
as a turret as well.
They are pushing bot.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you'll take this as HLE. Again, this turret's very healthy, and the bottom turret goes down. You got the kill back anyway. Sure, some assist goal goes over as Chovy.
Yeah, I think, you know, this is what I was talking about on the counter push as Zoe. It's so hard. You can be in so much trouble if you get over aggressive, and now they're looking for more. Duro just barely, okay, he's going to get charmed up, and I think they've got the damage here with the Jace. And there you go, very nice juggling of the aggro as here comes Ruler. He doesn't have flash, and he's alone. And now they're just going to start up here on this Rift Herald. Chovy's up top. I mean, it's just going down too fast. There's no real way for Gen.G to get in.
Yeah, Canyon's nowhere near. He's going to get his Raptors in exchange, or the big chicken at least.
And you're going to get tapped by something from the Lilia. And even if you do a ton of damage, the recourse that happens when you get slept, when you pop back in the portal is just too much. You have to be so controlled on the Zoe playing in this game. It's a really difficult Zoe game.
Last real even team fight they get. Canyon has flash and ult. I think he has to be a hero here if they're going to commit.
Yep. Mega Gnar coming through. And it's a straight up 5v5. There's the Mega Gnar. And Keen looking for the flank. And it's just going to go to a flip. It goes to Canyon. But let's take a look at this fight. As Canyon taking a bunch of damage. But Pino went way too deep. Not able to quite get the sleep off. As now Keen taxing Zeus out of this fight. Hanwha Life in a bunch of trouble. As now they have nowhere to go. The sleep comes down on a Viper. And the chase potential of this comp shines. They take out the Xayah. As now Canyon looking for a bit more. Keen as well. Here with Duro. And they might just be able to do it. Zeka trying to play bodyguard, but he might be punished himself. Has to flash out, and Gen.G finally find the angle.
And Canyon's smites have just been so good. I mean, the fight as well was winning, but his smites have been so on point. I feel like the confidence to go for these plays. Peanut tries to make him pay for it, but it's Gen.G who come through strong just when they need to.
And Zeus is trying to zone him.
It is massive.
Every champ. Every champ loves it on the side of Gen.G. And now we got Viper just trying to do a red buff, and he's going to be punished, and Zeus comes in here. Hanwha Life falling apart, and Gen.G playing guerrilla warfare. Hanwha Life don't quite have the answer. That's a free kill on a Viper who's really struggling into this comp.
To look for the charm into the back line. Zeus uses his Mega Gnar, he has to, and now it's going to expire. There's an angle here for Gen.G in this interim. They have to really be aware of Peanut, though. A big sleep could be a game changer. And it's a poke war.
Yeah, the poke war is beginning. HLE do have position on this objective. Enduro getting pretty low himself. Zeus gets over the wall, but that's not Mega Gnar as they turn immediately on Zeus. He's getting burst down, but down will go Canyon immediately, and the smite goes to HLE as it's a broken up fight here for Gen.G. Two people go into the back line, and one of them immediately gets burst down. Just going way too deep to try to catch people out. Chovy looking for the follow-up picks. Maybe he's able to catch Zeus here, but nope, Zeus is going to walk out. And the Braum not able to catch him either. He is going to try to flash, though, and in goes Ruler, and finally does take him down. Gen.G at least get the Gnar on the back of that.
Shock Blast at the ready. He hits with it. It's just going to be Canyon.
Yeah, Canyon not the best target to hit with that one. But better than nothing, I suppose, and it's just going to come down to this one. Goes over to the Wukong, and Delight goes in, but nobody follows up as the Braum gets the disengage through. Peanut getting no value on this Lilia. They're just trying to abandon ship, but Gen.G have other ideas. They catch up to the Gnar, and that'll be the first pick on top of the Otacon that they just got, and they're looking for more.
Mega. And he's going to need some time here. The Jace poke needs to keep landing.
I mean, this might just turn into a flip, but Chovy's going to go in and do a bunch of damage, and now the culling comes through. Viper is just kind of out of the fight. Even the Ignite from the Zoe is enough. It goes over to Peanut, but now the fight comes through, and Peanut barely survives.
He still has his ult.
Keen once more, kind of corralling them here. The engage from the Aatrox, not the best, but it's going to keep them around, and now Ruler gets an opportunity to get in, and that'll be the end of Zeka as he gives his life, but so does Viper, and now, one by one, they are falling, and Gen.G pick up 3. They lose the Drake, but they take a massive fight.
Because Zeka is 10 seconds away, this is just going to be gone.
And Peanut, I don't think an ult is going to change anything here. If he goes for it, it will be
Delight's TPing, actually.
Yeah, we got TP coming through, but that's a sleep immediately
Zeka
onto him. Peanut TP. Peanut doesn't have his flash, he can't get in. It's Barrett over to Gen.G as we assumed. But now a second TP comes in, and a second sleep from the Zoe. And you're not really finding very much value. They need to get something, Hanwha Life here. But we're going over the wall, and even Chovy's looking for more. Just taxing them out with some extra damage.
There's no way for Peanut to wrap around. Another sleep connects as the siege is unreal here for Gen.G. Chovy's poke lands again, and now 2 inhibitors are under threat.
Yeah, I don't think that Hanwha Life have an answer to this one. The Gen.G fans are already celebrating. They can taste the victory, and just 3 games ago, they thought all hope was lost. Hanwha Life stomped them in 2 games, and now we got Gen.G just bringing it back in a huge way.
Miracle is what they need.
Yeah, they're looking for something. They're trying to connect. They're trying to find an angle. You can see them running at Duro and Ruler.
And you can see that Gen.G, all they got to do is respect. As in goes the Mega Gnar, Zeus gets interrupted, and the damage comes through. The engage is not snap, and it doesn't do much of anything. The sleep only hits the Wukong, and maybe they get it as a consolation prize. Canyon goes in, keeps them around.
They're so split here. Zeus is incredibly low. Viper the target.
Okay, they're going in onto a Xayah with Cleanse. Not sure about this target, Gen.G, and take a look at Ruler.
He's just ending the game.
He's just running at the base. Nobody's able to stop this from happening. And Ruler might just get it done. He's got Chovy over here, and Ruler just able to turn and take the fight. He is so fed. And there's nothing that Mini Gnar can do about it. There's nothing that Peanut can do about it. As Gen.G more than 10,000 gold ahead, they take down the turrets. But the health bars are pretty low.
Ekka's back, and I think they're really judging this very carefully.
Ruler's healing up.
They got the BT, and yeah, the Mega Gnar is just going to be zoned away. The Sonya's picked up by Chovy. Ruler trying to tip away at the Nexus. Might just be able to do it right here, right now, and it looks like they have done it. Delight can't get it done, and with a smile on his face, Gen.G, Toby will be your first seed, moving on to MSI tonight.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.